19, we launched the accelerator. We said, okay, look, we think we've got enough learnings now where we can bring in a batch of founders. The first one was a batch of 5. We can have a structure. They're all going to roughly be at the same time in the cycle, and we're going to take them through a program of 3 months. And at the end of it, they're going to be ready to kind of close some funding. Now, 2019 was in the depths of the crypto winter. We were kind of just coming to DeFi summer. But often we were helping Web3 startups raise money saying they weren't a Web3 startup. So they were leaning into the market, they were leaning into more of an AI company or whatever it is. But it worked. We had 5 teams. Several of them are doing really well now. Data launched a network around data oracles, but to institutional grade, so you can have a regulated product built on them. Still going strong out the depths of that winter. Boson protocol, still going strong, launched a network, still shipping code for the future of e-commerce. Maybe talk about that a little bit later. Crucible, which is looking at, actually was our first metaverse investment before we were even calling it metaverse investment. He was actually, Ryan of Crucible was calling it the metaverse then, which set in train my thinking for the metaverse and subsequent iterations of the metaverse thesis. But it was very personal. Ryan of Crucible, he was in maybe cohort 2 or 3, COVID hit, he'd flown from LA, he was stuck in a flat on his own. I actually moved him into my house, my family house. He lived with me during COVID, which was actually very informative. It's like watching how my kid was using games at the time, and he's a bit younger than me, and he was like, oh yeah, that's like, they're all doing that. So, very intense, very, very personal. But through that, we kind of developed this blueprint for success. And as an investor, an understanding of beyond the business model, beyond the market, like what's required for a really successful Web3 founder, like psychologically, what's that profile look like, or what combination of profiles do you need in a team to kind of complement one another? Because it's more riskier, burnout happens much quicker, right? The highs and the lows are much more extreme, much more volatile. And you fast forward to where we are now, our goal is 200 startups a year. So we're going to double what's taken us a decade in a year. So for me personally, I'm spending less time with founders, which I miss. But at the same time, my goal now is how do we systemize this to help as many founders as possible, wherever they are in the world. So we're still virtual. COVID made us virtual. We stayed virtual. We operate entirely virtually with founders. That's hard to do at scale, but we found a way to do it, and we believe that's really important for us because ultimately we want to enable Web3 founders wherever they are in the world, whoever they are in the world. And the interesting thing is that as Web3 technology begins to converge with AI, which has always been part of our thesis, published a paper on it in 17, 18, and 19. These things accelerate one another even further. So we now have this thesis, which we're going to start talking about. Actually, the first time we've ever spoken about it. So there you go. You got some alpha. We're thinking, what is a 100x founder? So when a founder can use something like ChatGPT to have a conversation with an expert on almost anything, as long as there's enough publicly available data to have trained it. So it can't be really niche stuff, but like understanding a market, building a pitch deck, using tooling like Midjourney to develop a logo, brand identity. I mean, all these things can be done by one person, a solo founder, with no technical knowledge, because they're creating. You can even do programming with an app now, like a co-pilot to do development work, front and back end. So you can basically do everything required to get to product market fit, in theory, with a solo founder with no technical knowledge. So what does that mean for us as an accelerator? What does that mean to industries and markets. We're seeing it in the creative industry as well. I interviewed, like you, I have a podcast. I bring creators on as well as founders. I had a game developer who's worked at 25 years in gaming, Supercell. Is it Ravio Rocchio, the one that did the Angry Birds game and the franchise? He's created a 2D click and play game entirely using AI. I was like, what can't you do in that whole development process without anything? Nothing. So to develop a game, soon a AAA game, maybe even produce a Hollywood blockbuster movie, create a billion-dollar company. All these things can, in theory, happen now with one person. So the kind of profile of that means anybody anywhere can be a founder. It also means that there's going to be startups flying at you left, right, and center. We already know no idea is unique anymore. The hive mind on Twitter, like as soon as you've thought it, somebody's tweeted it. Like before you've even tweeted it, there's no unique thoughts. So no unique thoughts, 100x founders. Shit's going to get really crazy. I'm excited by it, but it's there's all the more pressure as well now on a founder because there's could be 100,000 other founders all around the world, sub-Saharan Africa, Bangalore. The leveling field is playing field's lowered, so it's a lot more competitive to be a founder, but also a lot more inclusive.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, do you want to profit from crypto? Then join my DeFi Academy. The Crypto DeFi Academy will help you create generational wealth. But don't take my word for it. Listen to my students.
When I first got into crypto, I remember thinking to myself, I need to learn more. Brian Rose, learning crypto, learning DeFi, gotta do it.
I am so grateful that I jumped in and did this. I had to break through some limiting beliefs that I can do this, that I can afford this, that I can be in this.
It challenges the things that are deeply rooted within us.
Joining DeFi Academy has been one of the best decisions I have made on my blockchain journey.
This course was a life changer, a game changer, a huge eye-opener, coming from knowing practically nothing at the speed of the learning over 4 weeks was just fantastic.
The information you provided in this class was invaluable.
I feel far more confident in my next steps.
You took complex concepts and made them easier to understand.
What's different than so many other ones is it just doesn't tell you what to do. It actually makes you do it.
This is for people who are serious about becoming traders. This is the way it should be done.
I realized from this learning experience again that it is not about what you learn, but about who you learn it from.
The energy was insane. I've never experienced such incredible energy on a live call. Brian Rose, you are a legend, my friend.
It's the only thing in the market where you can get all information and learn everything what you need to know.
Everything is so clear and so well done, and I am just forever grateful for this program.
It made me feel so much more confident about crypto than I did before.
I did not anticipate how passionate I was going to become about it.
It's also been like a big learning experience for me, not just in the crypto space, but just an overall balance of life.
What I've learned is, how to take ownership, of my life in a way that I really hadn't before.
Yeah, you can't put a price on that, really.
I would recommend it to anybody, top notch.
Excellence does not come cheap. So if you want excellence, you got to pay for it, but it's so worth it.
Pull the trigger. That's what this course is about.
You're not going to regret it, really. It's amazing.
Thank you, Brian and team.
So what are you waiting for? Crypto is happening now. Click the link below, submit your application, and let me mentor you on how to create generational wealth and build the decentralized financial infrastructure of the future.